Hi, I'm Diane Davidson with Fine Homes Group at Keller Williams. This is our weekly podcast, Good Deeds, Real Estate with a Mission. And my partner in work, life, and mission is Bill Weidecker. Thanks for being here.
Nice to be here.
Yes, we have our easy peasy glasses on.
I'll take mine off.
Anyway, so today we were having a chat this morning about, being sort of a good resource for people and interpreting some of the things that they hear about the real estate market. And we find out about it because people ask us, and it's always a good reminder that we really are the experts who will bring them accurate information, whether it's headlines or rumors or things that they hear from their neighbor. So we thought we'd have a fun little session about things that we've been dispelling lately and questions we've had. You want to start with one?
Well, one in particular that I think is important is, we do know this, that prices have risen. They were rising steadily for the last 10 years. But as the pandemic ensued, we saw double-digit appreciation in 2020, 2021, 2022. Here's what we're finding. Through April, when you take the April numbers of this year, closed sales, versus the April numbers of last year, prices are up, but only by 1.1% in the state of New Hampshire. Mm-hmm. So that's not double-digit appreciation that people are used to. So that tells me one thing, that the 10 straight interest rate moves by the Federal Reserve and now potentially another in June is having an effect nationwide. It has had less of an effect here because we've had no inventory or next to no, and we've still had demand. But prices have kind of reached the point where, I don't know that we're going to see a lot more air in the balloon, as it were.
So this started with our discussion this morning about what people have said. There are people who say, "Oh my God, I hear prices are crazy. My neighbor just sold their house for $30,000 over list price, or $80,000 over list price." That doesn't mean it's worth 30 or 80 more than it was last year. The same thing might have happened last year. Probably would have happened last year.
Sure.
So people sometimes confuse with where things are selling relative to what they're asking. They confuse that with appreciation. So that was one of the things we were talking about this morning. Another one, kind of the on the opposite end of the spectrum, there is people saying, I hear nothing selling. Is anything even selling? I hear the market's way off, right? And we know that plenty of things are selling. The market we're off in number of units because the demand is so high and the supply is low. But things are certainly selling. So there are people who are kind of, they're not even on the fence. They're not necessarily thinking about selling because they're hearing how nothing is selling. It's just,
sure.
So it's interesting what people sort of grasp onto, what they hear, and what we need to dispel. Any others?
Well, partly when what they hear is closed sales are down 20%.
Right.
Well, that's because new listings are down 20%. If we had more listings, we'd have more sales.
Correct.
There's no doubt about it. I looked at the numbers this morning, and for the last 7 days in Hillsborough, Rockingham, and Merrimack County, buyers going under contract have outstripped new listings coming on the market, 1.5 to 1. So for every new listing coming on, there's 1.5 buyers out there.
Right.
It's a very good time to be a seller, and it is also a good time to be a buyer. I mean, I look at it this way. I remember back in the mid 1990s when the market sort of tumbled, and all of the clients of mine that had bought in the years before, I thought, oh my goodness, I hope they don't sell. And
Call me.
I had one client who bought a property in the north end of Manchester for $160,000, and I thought, oh my goodness, it's worth $130 now. Well, now that property is worth $650,000. So
Did you call them?
they called us. But I guess the point is that markets, if you're looking to buy a home, you're doing it for reasons other than speculation in most cases. And if you're doing it for speculation, then you should plan on holding it for a while, right? Always. I mean, it's really hard to speculate that the market's going to appreciate double digits.
Right.
So I think the markets, especially in New Hampshire, we're a really rare I think that's why we've held on, and the market seems different here than in other parts of the country. It's a really rare opportunity because of the fact that, you know, it's very popular because of its proximity to the mountains, the lakes, the sea coast, the city of Boston, the city of New York, travel, healthcare, airports, all of those things aren't changing.
Right. And the affordability, I mean, it still stays, it remains very affordable relative to many other markets.
Sure.
Even with interest rates. So it's interesting, you know, some of the other things we hear, you know, a property, for instance, sells for less than the list price, right? That indicates to a lot of people the market's softening, which isn't the right, it's not accurate. It's just that the listing price is a little bit ambitious, right?
Yeah.
And so they're, in working with buyers and working with sellers, there are the questions that we need to answer to kind of straighten things out. Again, there are things to dispel all along the way. Yeah.
Price changes are up, Diane.
Mhm.
You know, they're running around $250 a month in Hillsborough, Rockingham, and Merrimack County. That number's up. Now, the reason that's up is not because there's less sales.
And not because prices are declining, but because
It's the ambition of the agents and the sellers
Yep.
putting the properties on the
Yep.
market. Listen, I don't know that you can blame people for wanting to get a little bit more than the last person, but somewhere along the line, there is now there's not the appreciation that we've seen, right? If things are appreciating at 1% and something's 10% over market, it could take 10 months to sell if it appreciates to that price range. If something's on the market for 10 months in this market, it's going to sell for under its value. Because
likely to, yep.
Because, yeah, likely.
Not under its value. It's going to sell at a value that reflects how long it's been on the market.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah.
But, you know, I'm going to give a free tip. May I?
Go ahead.
Okay. It's always free to you. Oftentimes people price based on what something else has closed for. But what something is closed for is a reaction to the offering. What
That's
I mean
right.
by that is if something came on the market for $300,000 and it closed for $342, pricing it at $342 or maybe even $350 because it's nicer is probably not going to get the same reaction out of the market.
That's
The
right.
market reacted to the first offering, to the marketing price, and I think a lot of agents make that mistake. Okay, so that was free for all of our colleagues, right?
Love it. Well, it's true. It's very true.
Of course it is. I speak the truth. Anyway, that's it for today. Just one more little shout out for all of the seniors, the high school seniors, the recipient from the Manchester Community Music School and our special scholarship recipient. We are 2 days away from awarding $13,600 in scholarships, and we couldn't be more thrilled, and we appreciate all of the people that do business with us so that we can pledge from each transaction to better the lives of local youth. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, Bill. And thank you. Be sure to follow us on your favorite podcast platform or subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you.